Good morning, all. So, we are continuing today's lecture on halitosis. So, coming to the etiology, halitosis generally arises as a result of the bacterial decomposition of food particles, cells, blood, and some chemical compounds of the saliva. Volatile sulfur compounds, which is composed of hydrogen sulfide, gives a smell of rotten cabbage-like smell and methyl metacarpentane smell. Non-sulfur containing substances like diamines, which gives a cadaver-like smell, and putrescents like rotting meat, acetone and acetaldehyde-like smell. So, coming to the common causes of halitosis. So, common causes of halitosis are food impaction, acute necrotizing ulcerative gingivitis, acute gingivitis, adult and aggressive periodontitis, pericoronitis, dry socket, xerostomia, that is the dry mouth syndrome, oral uremia, oral malignancy. So these were the local causes. Now systemic causes can be respiratory system such as the sinusitis, tonsillitis, malignancy and bronchostomia, and certain volatile foodstuffs such as the garlic content, onion content, spiced food items. Coming to the etiology, systemic diseases can be acute febrile illness, which is commonly known as illness for few time, leukemia, respiratory tract infection, Helicobacter pylori diseases, pharyngoesophageal direticulum, gastroesophageal reflux diseases, pyloric stenosis or duodenal obstruction, hepatic failure, renal failure, diabetic ketoacidosis, trimethyluremia, menstruation or menstrual breath. So these were the main causes and the other causes for halitosis. Main causes can be basically due to your systemic problems and other causes can be due to your oral causes or the local factors. So coming to the role of volatile sulfur compounds in pathogenesis of halitosis. So major compound implicated on halitosis are volatile sulfur compound, that is VSC, methyl metacarpentane, hydrogen sulfide, dimethyl sulfide and methyl disulfide. Polyamides, which can be putrescine, cadaverian, scatol or indole. Short chain fatty acids like butyric acid, propionic acid, valeric acid and isovaleric acids. Others can be acetone, acetaldehyde and ethanol diacyl. So role of these in the halitosis are it increases the permeability of oral mucosa and clavicular epithelium. So in this way the halitosis takes place in your oral cavity. It impairs oxygen utilization by host cell and reacts with the cellular protein and interferes with collagen maturation. It also increases the collagen activity and solubility. It decreases the DNA synthesis. It increases the secretion of collagenase, prostaglandins, secretion from fibroblast. VSC reduces the intracellular pH, which inhibits the cell growth and periodontal cell migrations. Now, pathogenesis of oral malodor. So, the basic pathogenesis for oral halitosis are the dirt, bacteria, epithelial cells, which gives rise to peptide proteins in the oral cavity, which turns into the amino acids, and due to the consumption of sweet malodor containing food substances and items, it leads to the formation and production of putrefaction products, which leads to bad breath or bad odor, hence called as oral malodor. So coming to the correlation between the presence of a pathogenic subflora and subgingival microbiota in halitosis. In 1981, Pitts et al. Studied the correlation between the odor scores and microbiological findings in the clavicular samples of periodontally healthy subjects. They found that the odor scores were significantly correlated with the concentration of overall bacteria and that higher levels of clavicular bacteria were associated with the greater odor scores. In patients with periodontitis, more sulfur containing protein substrate is available, though increased exfoliation of epithelial cells and clavicular effusion of leukocytes. Sato and colleagues found that the number of leukocytes increased in the saliva of patients and periodontitis, that the level of methyl metacarpentane produced is correlated with the bleeding on probing, pocket depth and gingival exudate. So coming to the diagnosis, that how will you diagnose that you are having a oral malador? So there can be various tests through which we can perform for the self-diagnosis. That can be self-assessment test and the whole mouth malador test. So the subjects are instructed to smell the odor emanating from their entire mouth by cupping their hands over their mouth and breathing through their nose. The presence or absence of oral malador can be evaluated by the patient themselves. So coming to the halitosis measurement, that how the halitosis is measured overall. So halitosis measurement can be either through the self-assessment test, other people assessment, and coming to the halitometry, chemical or enzymatic test and organoleptic test. So etiologic factors causing the halitosis are local factors and systemic factors. Local factors can be pathologic in origin and non-pathologic in origin. Systemic factor can also be the same, pathologic in origin and non-pathologic in origin. Coming to the wrist lick test, subjects are asked to extend their tongue and lick their wrist in a perpendicular fashion. The presence of odor is judged by ending the smell in the wrist after 5 seconds at a distance of about 3 cm. So in the wrist lick test, we can definitely decide that lick your wrist and smell it to know what your breath smells like. Coming to the spoon test, plastic spoon is used to scrape and scoop up the material from the back region of the tongue. The odor is judged by smelling the spoon after 5 seconds at a distance of about 5 cm organoleptically. Coming to the dental floss test, a unwaxed floss is passed through the interproximal areas of the teeth. Coming to the saliva odor test, it involves the subject having to expectorate to approximately 1 to 2 ml of saliva in a petri dish. The petri dish is covered immediately and it is incubated at around 37 degrees Celsius for about 5 minutes. And then it is presented for oral evaluation at a distance of about 4 cm from the examiner's nose. So here we can see that salivary spit test is being performed. Here the test tubes are kept in which the saliva is being heated up for 37 degrees Celsius and it is kept in front of the patient's nose and the patient is determined to examine the salivary odor. Coming to the objective test, it can be organoleptic test, gas chromatography test and sulfide monitoring test. Coming to the organoleptic measurement, which can be known as sniff test. Organoleptic measurement is a sensory test which is scored on the basis of the examiner's perception of the subject oral malador. Organoleptic measurement can be carried out by simply sniffing the patient's breath and scoring the level of oral malador. By placing a translucent tube into the patient's mouth and having the person to exhale slowly and breathe, the undiluted in a room air can be evaluated and assigned as an organoleptic score. The tube is inserted through a very privacy screen that separates the examiner's face and the patient. The use of a privacy screen allows the patient to believe that they have undergone a specific malador examination test and they have to undergo a sniff test. So this is the organoleptic apparatus in which we can see the test tube have been kept and the patient is allowed to sniff through the mouth. So organoleptic scores are there. So the certain scores are 0 means no appreciable odor, 1 is barely noticeable odor, 2 is slightly but noticeable odor, 3 is moderate odor, 4 is strong odor, 5 is extremely foul odor. So coming to the description of the odors, it can be 0 means absence of halitosis. Odor cannot be characterized. Number 1 is odor is detectable, although examiner cannot recognize it, but it is a questionable halitosis. Score number 2 is slight halitosis. Odor is deemed to exceed the threshold of halitosis recognition. 3 is moderate halitosis. Halitosis is definitely characterized. 4 is strong halitosis. Strong halitosis is detected and can be tolerated by the examiner. 5 is severe halitosis. Overwhelming halitosis is detected and cannot be tolerated by the examiner. So, coming to the organoleptic scoring scale, it can be characterized as category and its description. Category is absence of odor. Description is odor cannot be detected. Questionable odor. Odor is detectable, although the examiner could not recognize it. Slight malodor means odor is deemed to exceed the threshold of oral malodor frequency. Moderate malodor is definitely detected. Strong malodor is detected but can be tolerated by the examiner. Severe malodor is overwhelming malodor is detected and cannot be tolerated by the examiner. So in the next class we will be taking about how the volatile sulfide gases are being monitored and how the gas chromatography test is being taken out. So till then I hope you all read about the halitosis and the various measures to treat them and to check them. Till then, goodbye, take care, stay home, stay safe.